a workers' compensation claim. Like, holy shit. Hey guys, it's Kai, and we're about to carve some pumpkins.
Why are you such a copycat?
Oh, these? Oh, you mean these? Yeah, I finally got some new glasses. I'll probably take these off at some point just because it is annoying me seeing the reflection in my glasses from the lights. But hello. So I thought I'd wear Andrew's merch because we're spilling some tea today. I actually don't have any tea because I was too lazy to make it, so I have water. Stay hydrated, ladies. But yeah, I got my new glasses today. I'm in a great mood. I also had a Monster earlier, so that's probably why I have energy today. And I finally started decorating. Frank is here once again. I almost forgot to add him in, and then I was like, wait, we are also filming in the opposite side of my room that you're normally in. Normally this is where you sit and I sit over there. But like, it's kind of Halloween over there, but like not enough, and I added a little bit of decorations, but I'm feeling very Halloweeny. So I was walking through the Target section of Halloween section of Target, and I saw this really cute like decoration kit for a pumpkin, and I was holding one of those like fake pumpkins you can carve, and I was like, yeah, maybe this would be kind of fun. And then I walked away, and then I found this big boy for literally less money than the fake pumpkin. And this one, if you know me at all, if you've been on my channel for any of the last Octobers, or if you've just gone back that far, you would know I love pumpkin seeds. I've pulled them everywhere, it's fine. So anyway, I thought it'd be fun because this is like, I thought copycat because that's my brand, and I still haven't done the coffee video. Anyway, the point is I want to finally like talk about this Starbucks bullshit, and I figured what better way to go ahead and talk about all the scary shit that went down at Starbucks than to go ahead and get into the spooky season spirit, make a good jack-o'-lantern, and scare away the drama. I'm trying real hard. So it tells us how to do it. Here's what we do with instructions. I don't know, I'm trying to open this already. This is literally like foam and stickers and stuff, so like I need to get carving first. Right there's probably good. So real quick, just because I have to put a disclaimer, this is my experience with this Starbucks. In general, I still fully support Starbucks. I think they're a great company. They treat their employees really well. I just had a horrific experience at this particular one, but I've been a Starbucks barista for almost 5 years. Well, I guess not like anymore, but like it was like about 5 years when I quit. So in general, I still fully support Starbucks, and my views are not the views of Starbucks. I have to say that too. So I guess to start off, we should actually go back to the Starbucks that I worked at in North Carolina right before I moved. And in general, my experience at that one was actually really good. I did really like that job. It was a cafe store, so it was chill. I met some like really cool people there. I'm not gonna go through the whole process with that supervisor because there's also a lot of shit that I need to talk about with her, but that's gonna be a whole separate video if I ever get around to making it. I don't know what it is, but like her and then the one that I had at this Starbucks, like just for some reason hated me. And like, let me just say, I'm a good employee. Like I really am never late. I don't miss shifts. Like, especially at the time, I was like overly punctual, like 10 minutes early every single day, like without fail. Like I was a good employee. I was there. I worked really hard. Like they had me on bar every single day because I was so good and so fast and so friendly, and I always did everything right. And if I didn't, I would immediately rectify it. Like I also did my job and the customer support job, and I rang customers sometimes. Like I took a bunch of other people's roles on my back as well, you know? Like I wasn't just like making coffee and then standing around. Like anyway, I worked very hard. I have no idea why they hated me, but I just had bad experiences with both of these bosses, and yet they're the jobs I stayed the longest at. I'm a masochist, I guess. So I was going to transfer to a Starbucks, ouch, in LA. So I was told that when I got to LA, I'd have my job already set up and I'd be starting a couple days after I moved in, and I just needed to double check like the times and everything like that, which I didn't think to do until I moved out here. But she told me what day I was scheduled to start. Like it's not like she was just like, oh no, yeah, everything's fine, like someone will be contacting. No. Like she gave me a start date at that store and was like, yeah, like I've already spoken to them, I've already put your transfer paperwork through, and I had also been reaching out to people and did my transfer paperwork and everything, and I gave it to her because she was the last one who had to sign it and then send it off, and she's like, yeah, everything's sent off, you're starting on this day, like you'll be fine. That was a lie. Which is why it's also funny that she tried to follow me on Instagram the other day, and I was like, girl, wow, this is taking a long time. Probably because I'm rambling and not actually focusing, and because I'm using a butter knife, but it's fine. Like I said, this is all I need. Maybe I'll get a knife for the actual carving part because I forgot that I have to carve a face into it. Or actually do I? Because I'm putting cat stickers on it. Why am I even carving it open? So there's a whole story time about what happened when I got to LA and why I was like homeless for a couple days. The story time of moving to LA originally is up on my channel if you want to go watch it. It's really old. The shot looks weird. I look like a different human. Felt like a different human. That's a weird time in my life. So I was in LA, and then I moved to a smaller town called Joshua Tree, and then I moved to another small town on like the other side, like up in the desert area. I've probably said that town before on this channel and like talked about that specific Starbucks. I'm not gonna say it here just for like privacy's sake. Like it's not like like I hid it super well when I was working there, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to like go and delete any trace of that Starbucks, but for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna tell you which Starbucks it was. But I moved to the town with that Starbucks, and the first thing I did, literally I drove from Joshua Tree to this town. It was like 2.5 hours, something like that. I got to the house we were moving into, me and the person who came with me, and we took a little bit of the stuff inside. I left them there, and then I drove over to the nearest Starbucks. And actually before that, I had contacted my old store manager and told her where I was moving, which Starbucks I wanted to go to. She said she was already gonna go ahead and reach out so that by the time I moved over there, everything would be fine, because I was super broke because I was not able to work for a whole month. And yes, the cup fund did help. One of the reasons I will forever support Starbucks, because holy shit, but I had literally no money, like barely enough to get the gas to even move over there, you know? So I went up to the Starbucks and everything was supposed to be fine. They were supposed to know I was coming. I was just gonna have to pick up a form and fill it out and then sign it and then give it to the store manager, and everything was supposed to process. She said it could take like up to a month, but hopefully less than that. So I drive to the Starbucks. None of the employees know what I'm talking about at all. The store manager wasn't even there. So how did she talk to a store manager that morning if the store manager wasn't even gonna be there or leave a form for me or anything? And when I asked the employees about it, they literally called her and asked her what she wanted them to do. And she was like, I haven't heard from anyone about this girl. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe it's the other store, because there was literally one other Starbucks like 15 minutes away. So I went ahead and drove to that store because I was like, well, maybe she just got the address wrong. So I walk in there and that was cinematic. Anyway, I talked to the store manager who worked at that one, and she was like, I don't know who you are. I can't take a transfer right now. And then she got like really snippy for no reason and was like, usually when you move somewhere, you know where you're gonna transfer first. Even though I had already explained the situation to her, but I was like, whatever. Like, I guess they got it confused because a girl named Kylie, my name is Kai, a girl named Kylie got hired at that one or something, was gonna transfer. What are the odds? I don't know. Anyway, it was not that store, and I didn't know what to do. I went home feeling super defeated, and I called. I should give her a name because I'm gonna talk about her more. Ashley. I don't know. So I call Ashley and I'm like, hey, nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Nobody was expecting me. Like, who did you even call? And she was like, oh, I thought you meant you had called them. I literally, holy shit. You thought I was gonna call. She literally told me, I called them, everything is fine. You just have to go in and pick up a form and sign it and everything will be fine. So they had no idea it was coming because she didn't actually call anybody, which is fucking bullshit, but I'm obviously pissed off at this point. Like, I knew for a while that she hated me, but I was like playing fake nice with her and pretending like I had no idea, because that's usually the only way to get your way in these kinds of situations, so that I could get away from her and not have to worry about it again. Long story short, because we're not here to just tell the story of how I finally got transferred there. It was a whole ordeal that took literal months. Like, I moved to this town in September and started trying to get the process started then. It wasn't until mid-November that I finally got transferred. It was this whole thing of Ashley being like, oh yeah, I totally did everything on my end. I don't know what's happening. And then me talking to my new store manager, who we will call Crystal. I don't think I've used Crystal on my channel before, so we'll just call her Crystal. She kept saying like, I haven't received anything from her. Like, she's the one who has to look over this and then send me this form, and I kept telling that to Ashley, and she kept being like, I don't know what's happening. I was calling HR, I was calling general managers, like I was like trying to, I needed a job really bad, and this town that I moved to had like no openings, and the Starbucks literally did need someone right then. She was like, actually this is good timing, like I do need a transfer, but like I can't do it until she releases you, because I was still in the old store system because she had never sent me over in the first place, which is the whole point of bringing up the like moving to LA thing. How could I have had a start date at a new store if she had never even released me from her store? I was still in her system on her payroll, and that's why I was getting nothing, because I couldn't. And especially because it was like all the way in North Carolina, I couldn't just like cover hours at this store. So I finally was like, listen, Ashley, like, I'm just gonna have to quit and reapply. And she's like, no. Wait, let me try one more thing. Bitch, it's been fucking a month. What do you mean try one more thing? What else is there to try if you've already tried everything you could? She'd also like talked about getting me gift cards or sending me money or something because she felt so bad, and obviously none of that ever happened. She didn't have to do that, but why would you even say it if you weren't gonna do it? You know what I mean? Just bullshit like that. And then yeah, suddenly magically, as soon as she's like, let me try one more thing, suddenly I was in the system and I was starting the transfer process. Bullshit. Anyway, so I'm finally at this new store, right? And I'm so excited because I think it's like, finally I get to work, I get to make money. Like before that, I was having to like clean houses with a girl that I met on Facebook in the town. She's actually pretty cool. We're like friends now. I could have gotten murdered, but took the risk, I guess. Yeah, it was a whole thing, but I was finally like, yes, I'm gonna start making a paycheck. I'm gonna start like being able to pay for rent. I lived in this one lady's house before, and then we moved to another one because we really didn't get along with that first lady, and my roommate wasn't even trying to get a job, and it was a whole thing, and that was a whole another thing that we're not gonna talk about today. This was a rocky time in my life, to say the least. But so we moved to another house, and she was like chill with like letting us stay there for like a month without paying anything. We were supposed to pay rent the second month. She was really nice about that, and I don't know how we got lucky enough to even fall into that situation, but alas, we did. We were not homeless, and then I got a job. So I'm working at this new Starbucks. I'm really excited because everyone I had met I thought was super cool. I really liked my store manager even, and I was like, yes, this is gonna be a total redo from my last store. Like, yes, I love that store, but I'm not gonna have the issues with my store manager. Joke's on me. I had everything flipped. That store was awful, and I had a terrible store manager. Yes, I made some amazing friends. I made friends with some of my favorite people on the planet. I did have some good memories there, but out of nowhere, I don't know, the supervisor just decided that she hated me, and genuinely, once again, I don't know what I did.
Editing Kai here would just like to quickly pop in and say that the thing was, Ashley specifically singled me out and didn't like me. Crystal, however, was just in general a shit person and finally decided that I was no longer one of her exempt favorites because she treated everyone like trash except for the select few that she decided were worthy. Just a little bit of tea for ya.
I worked my ass off to the point that I like stopped wearing makeup there because I knew I was just gonna work so hard I would sweat it all off. And like, it was a crazy busy store. It's like one of the only locations for miles. Like whenever you're driving in that direction, it's all interstate and you don't see any Starbucks for miles until you finally see that Starbucks. And so a lot of people, and it was right off the interstate too, so a lot of people would pull right off and be like, oh my god, thank god. And we were just always slammed. So I think where it really started to go downhill was I started to have issues with my wrists and with anxiety. So I had actually been having like, I don't know if it's carpal tunnel or arthritis or what it technically is because I couldn't afford to go to a doctor and I still haven't seen a doctor about it. I really don't know, but it started with Starbucks, so I think it's like carpal tunnel or something. Basically my wrists like don't really work well anymore, and like my hands shake a lot when I'm trying to hold something. I look like an 80-year-old lady trying to hold like a full glass of sweet tea and it's just like shaking all over the rim. Like honestly, like it's kind of funny, but also like it's really not. Like I would wake up, my hands would be super numb, and I would have to spend like a good 15-20 minutes shaking them awake every single morning. Not good, not cute. So I wanted to work on that, but like also I didn't really know how to go about that. So I was like requesting that I do other things than bar, but like I was still fine because I knew they were gonna put me on my bar every day because I was really fast and really efficient and like good at it and whatever. And this isn't me trying to like toot my own horn and be like, I was like so good at my job. This is like actually like a point of contention that I was so good at this job. That sounds so shitty and narcissistic, but I mean it. Genuinely, like that was a problem. Because when I started being like, hey, like I really need to not be on bar as much, like it's really messing with my wrists. They were like, oh yeah, sure, like we'll start putting you in other positions sometimes. So they would give me like 30 minutes working register or 30 minutes working customer support or something like that, or 30 minutes in the drive-thru and then go right back to bar all day. Like what do you mean? That's not really a break. Like I need like a day off or something, a day where I don't have to be on bar, whatever. But I wasn't like super aggressive about it or anything. I was like, whatever, like I get it, like it's the busy season, because I guess it was like holidays? No, it was later than that. Because I started during the holidays, so this was like probably end of March-ish, something like that. So I've been there like a couple of months, and like I said, like it was a problem at my own store, but it was a cafe store, so it was slower. This is a drive-through and cafe store that's crazy busy. So being on bar every day at that store took way more of a toll on my wrists. Here comes the big problem. It also took a very big toll on my anxiety. So I don't know if you guys know, but I have not been diagnosed because I can't afford to get a diagnosis, or at least I couldn't. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to now, but I'm gonna try and see a psychiatrist at some point. I've been sailing this ship on my own for a while now, and I'd like to not. I have borderline personality disorder. At least that's what my old therapist told me. If I get a different diagnosis, that's fine, but like borderline makes the most sense. So that's just what I tell people, and I had disclosed this to my job just because like there are some days that I have to call off because I just can't get out of bed because I'm having an anxiety attack, or I am having a depressive episode, or I generally just call it episodes no matter what it is because they're usually very severe and mean that I can't really leave my house for one reason or another. Panic attacks are like a regular occurrence, or at least they were at the time. I didn't realize at the time that that wasn't normal for my disorder, because now I haven't had a panic attack in ages. Knock on wood. The point is, I was having panic attacks all the time. It was really bad. And then there was one day in particular, I don't know, I think there was like a frappy hour thing going on or something. I'm really not sure. We were very short-staffed because we were always very short-staffed at that store, because for some pumpkin reason they could never put enough people on the schedule, because it wasn't that people called out all the time. I mean, people did call out all the time, but it wasn't that. Like, especially at that time, we were always short-staffed because that was how we were scheduled. Like, even if we got somebody to cover somebody calling off, it was still, we were too short-staffed because that store is too pumpkin busy. I'm getting mad all over again. Oh, I just realized there's there was another girl I worked with named Crystal, and she was a manager, so this is awkward. Crystal, it's not about you. I didn't even think about it. I was thinking Crystal with a C. Her name was Crystal with a K. Well, this is awkward. So I had this day, I think it was Frappy Hour or something. We were very short-staffed. I really don't remember what was going on exactly because it was not summer yet. Like, it shouldn't have even been that crazy, and it was insanely busy. Didn't stop the entire day. I was on bar the entire day, and I just had a meltdown. Like, I had been like so anxious. Like, I got to the point, like, the thought of going to work, I would start to like get anxious. And that day in particular, I guess the anxiety was just really bad, and it was just getting to me, and they wouldn't take me off bar. Like I said, I was really good at my job, so they wouldn't take me off of bar if we were busy. But if I'm sitting here having a panic attack, I need to get off bar, but if I'm really good, they won't take me off bar anyway. Bar is the barista, like when you make the drinks. I probably should have said that before. It wasn't just me either. Like, there were two of us on cafe bar, and then there was also somebody else on dry bar, and I was just on cafe bar, but like it was fucking crazy. And me and her together, trying to make drinks together, I literally got to the point, I just started crying. I almost didn't notice it at first because there were just like tears coming out of my eyes, and the next thing I know, like my heart's beating, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm starting to have a panic attack. And my coworker looks over and is like, oh my god, are you okay? Because I usually keep my cool so well, or at least I did at the time. I had everything, like I was very good at that poker face no matter what was going on, but I literally, none of them had ever seen me cry before, and I just started pumpkins, losing it, like just bawling and like hyperventilating. And I was like, I have to go. Never done that before, but I said, I have to go, and I ran to the back, went, like Krista was back there on the phone, at the desk, and she didn't even turn ahead as I like sobbing and hyperventilating, walked straight past her, go all the way into the back, into the like storage room with like all the cups and shit, and I just had my panic attack in there. Spent a good like 10 minutes in there crying, hyperventilating, like just panic attacks, shaking, all that fun shit. No one even came to the back because I think they knew, and so like they were like, no, don't go back there, like we don't need any cups right now, it's fine. And when I finished, I came back out wiping my face, and I was like, all right boys, let's go. My shift lead was like, you know, why don't you go ahead and go on a 10? And I was like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. So that was the beginning of that. After that day, I think once my brain had broken the barrier of like panic attack on the floor, then it was just like, oh, anything can happen. So there were like multiple days after that where I was just having a panic attack or almost having a panic attack or like crying while I was making drinks. Like, it was just so bad. Honestly, they probably should have sent me home early. I don't know why they just sent me on a, well, I guess we were busy, but I don't know. They never sent me home any of the times though that was like having a panic attack. They were never like, do you want to just go home? They were just like, go on a 10. So after that, I was like, I need to talk to Crystal because something needs to change. I remember one time I was on cafe bar and I was struggling as it was, and it was Crystal on the floor who looked at me and like was gonna have like a meeting with the shift supervisor, even though we had like 2 call outs, and it was already just the shift supervisor was running drive-through and I was doing like cafe bar, and then she went to pull her off the floor and looked at me and was like, okay Kai, you're gonna double bar for a bit. We weren't dead. We were really busy on cafe bar, and we also had cars in the drive-through, and I literally looked at her and I just said, okay, and then tears just started streaming from my face. Just hectic and chaotic all the time, and I got to the point where I was literally crying like every single day that I was there. Here's the thing, it started off with this very like empathetic conversation. Crystal made it seem like she totally got it. She was so sorry that it even happened, and she didn't want me to have panic attacks every day. She didn't want me to have to worry about whether or not I was gonna hyperventilate on my shift that day. And then she like starts slipping in conversation that just like neurotypical people that do not understand mental illness and anxiety and things like that would say, like, well, we all get a little stressed sometimes, you just need to learn how to deal with it. Just like shit like that, like, well, how can we like figure it out and blah blah blah, like trying to act like she was trying to help me, but then like I would mention my wrist problem and she'd be like, well, we all like have wrist problems because of this job. And also the fact of the matter is, if my wrists are hurting so much that I want to cry, you should take me off bar so that it doesn't injure me further. I should file a workers' compensation claim. Like, holy shit.
Hi again, friends. Just wanted to pop back in real quick and just, so basically I was trying to describe a conversation that I had with Crystal, and I was so all over the place and so upset like remembering this, and I didn't like piece it together ahead of time because I didn't actually plan for it. I was just carving a pumpkin and just speaking and letting it happen, which for a story time this big is not really the smartest plan. But basically I sat down with Crystal and I had this conversation, and I was like, listen, I'm having panic attacks like every single day almost. I need to stop being put on bar. Like, I can't just ask the shift leads because like, yeah, sometimes they'll take me off of it, but usually it's only for like 30 minutes or an hour, and then I'm right back on bar. Like, I can't be default bar. Like, I can give like breaks on bar, you know what I mean? Like, I can work on bar for 30 minutes and give someone else a break and then go back to register or customer support or whatever, but stop making me the default bar person. There are other people who are capable of it it and I'm capable of a bunch of other shifts, and she was always totally cool with like switching anybody to a different position, like if they had problems with one position. I'm not gonna name names, but I knew someone specifically who was having a problem, and she was like, well, do you need me to switch you positions permanently? Because I can do that. But because I'm having panic attacks on the floor, suddenly it's not a good enough reason because I'm just such a good employee, which is what she kept saying over and over again. And I had to reiterate to her over and over again that if I'm having panic attacks in between drinks, I'm not going to be a very efficient and good employee, so this is counterintuitive for everyone involved.
It became this huge fight of her being like just flabbergasted that I was requesting something so crazy, and even pulled a page out of the handbook, fully out of context by the way, that was like, if you cannot work on your position,
which was only my position by the way because she had assigned me to it. I wasn't hired to just be on bar all the time. Like, I was hired to do all the positions and I was good at it. Had been doing it for literally years already. It was just because she wanted to stomp her feet and put me there.
And then you have to go on a non-paid sick leave until you're better and then can work at the position again. And as I kept trying to explain to her, this is not just like, oh, I'm sick for like a week and I have to go home. It's not like that. This is anxiety, and it's got to the point
because of her continued neglect of the situation.
My brain has associated these two things. I cannot do it.
And why is this so hard? And I literally had to call HR. And I told her I was calling HR and filing something so that she like would have to stop putting me on bar. And I contacted the DM and made it such a hassle for her that she finally conceded, but I shouldn't have had to do that in the first place is the problem. Anyway, just thought I would like save us both a lot of time and sum that up real quick because I just was too all over the place. Me watching this footage. Yikes.
I'm getting angry. This is why it took me so long to talk about this, because I knew I was just gonna get pumpkin pissed. We're still gonna stay hydrated though. It wound up being this whole bureaucratic bullshit with her. She was trying to assert dominance and act like, I get that she's my boss, but it was more than that. I don't know how to describe Crystal in a way to really paint this picture for you, but she was very much like, it felt like we were both in high school at the same age and she was just stomping her feet because I had an issue I needed help with. This is my pumpkin, by the way. It's mostly hollowed out. I'm not gonna get the rest of the strings. I'm gonna go ahead and start carving. I think we're all stressed. God, she's the worst. Anyway, finally she decided to put me on register every day. Now this was boring as shit, but at the very least it didn't give me panic attacks and it didn't make my wrists want to die. And then it came time for me to move. So here's what I did for that. I decided I wanted to try doing Postmates because I fucking hated my job so much. So I decided that I was gonna go on leave because I knew I was gonna be moving down to Riverside. This was like before April, which was when I originally thought I was supposed to move. So I was gonna like go on leave for April so that I would have time to move and do everything, and I was gonna like Postmates in between, and it was gonna be great, and I thought I was gonna be able to cover all my bills. Turns out I was very wrong, and I had spoken to her about it months in advance, multiple times. I even reminded her up until the time that it was time for me to go on leave, and I'd already applied for it and everything.
Hi again, sorry, I feel like I'm like filming a collab with my old self. It was literally a few days ago. But I just wanted to confirm that like we were fully civil at this point. Like the whole bar issue was like months and months in the past. Like when we saw each other, we pretended like we still liked each other. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have any drama. I didn't like her and I definitely vented sometimes to my friends, but we didn't have any like issues together. Like I didn't cause any problems. I just did my job. She did her job. It was whatever. She even promoted me to trainer in that time period and like acted like I was like one of her favorites again. We all knew that I wasn't, but she kept up the show. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, oh, here comes the bad employee trying to transfer. I just would like to say that. Okay.
I had already told her, don't put me on the schedule after April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke. Like it's, which actually funny enough, my technical hire date for Starbucks, because the one that I got hired at in Charlotte is the first like official Starbucks. That was April 1st, 2017. So I just think that's funny. My whole time there was a pumpkin joke. But I wasn't supposed to be on the schedule after April 1st, and she knew this ahead of time. I wasn't like checking in and being like, hey, like you didn't schedule me, right? Because I assumed she had it, because I kept mentioning it and saying like, yeah, April 1st is my start date. You know my start date, right? Like how do I go ahead and make sure that I'm like out of the system or whatever? Like I was like double checking with her to like make sure everything was in place. She kept assuring me everything was totally fine. And then I came in a couple days before my last day and I saw the new schedule up on the fridge, and I was scheduled for the whole next pumpkin week as if I wasn't going on leave at all. So I immediately like gave her a text and was like, hey, I saw that I'm on the schedule for next week. Just wanted to give you a heads up because I'm not coming in because I'm going on leave as of the 1st and I have my leave set up, and also I was using paid sick leave for the whole first week anyway, as I had done before under her instruction, by the way. So even if it weren't for the leave leave. Like, I already was covered for that week, and like, she knew. And this is the thing she did all the time too. It was like, she would schedule you when she knew you weren't available, and if you didn't say anything, she would just keep scheduling you like that, as if your schedule allowed for that, but then would also tell you like, oh yeah, the system doesn't let me, like, it'll like black out your schedule. I can't even do it if you're not available. Bullshit. Anyway,
I sent her this text right after I saw the schedule, and all she responded to was, thanks, I'll look at it when I come in tomorrow.
I saw her on my last day. She was in the lobby and like going over something with one of her shifts, I don't know, and she was like, hey, by the way, I realized why I totally forgot to like take you off the schedule, and like, it's not a big deal, I'll like go ahead and take care of it, no worries, I'm just trying to make you stay longer, and then laughed about it. So I laughed and I was like, oh haha, just playing it off like I was like, yeah bitch, like I know what you're doing, but like I didn't tell her that I was like, oh yeah, totally, like I'm good at that fake persona if I have to. Just revealing all my secrets here. But the way she said that, like, I'll take care of it, don't worry, like obviously, okay cool, you're gonna take care of it, it was your mistake in the first place, so it's not my responsibility, so I'm fine. Then comes the first Monday that I was not supposed to be scheduled for, but she had me on the schedule for. She tried to call me that morning. I didn't pick up because I rarely pick up my phone, especially if I don't know that you're gonna call me. Like, I usually have my phone on silent anyway because, again, anxiety problems. Like, this isn't just me making it up, like it's literally a thing in my life. And then when I wake up, I saw that she tried to call me and was like, hey, like I just wanted to see like if you ever got your shifts covered for this week. I'm sorry, what? What did I have to get pumpkins covered? I wasn't actually supposed to be on the schedule this week, so I came back at her with a slightly snippy but diplomatic text because I was never supposed to be on the schedule, and we talked about it. I thought it was going to be taken care of. I haven't reached out to anyone, gotten any coverage, because it was never my responsibility in the first place. She never responded, so I was like, okay, fine. I never reached out to anyone, I never tried to get the shift covered because, once again, it was never my responsibility. I figured she was just like, oh, okay, well, she's right, technically, so I don't, whatever. And then I went in a couple days later to get my tips. So we get tips every Tuesday. So I went in on Tuesday to get my tips, to get a drink and to see everybody because I already missed everybody. And she walks out, she's like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And pulls me, not even aside, I'm in line. She pulls me like a foot to the side. There are coworkers around me. Some of them are in line on lunch, and like everybody else is like, it's like a pretty long line. There are other customers too. So she pulls me out of line and is like, you're out of line. No, I'm just kidding. No, but she was like, hey, so I just wanted to talk about what happened the other day. And I'm like, sorry, what happened? Oh, well, just the text that you sent. Cause, you know, I mean, I figured you probably didn't mean it the way it came off, but I wanted to talk to you about it and just make sure we were on the same page. She feeds me this bullshit story about how, well, technically it was my responsibility to get it covered, and she was just being nice by going ahead and getting it covered for me because she didn't want to get me in trouble. And then she blatantly threatened me in line right in front of everybody. I still remember the look on her fucking face too. She was so far up her own asshole. Oh my fucking god. She looks at me and she's like, I would just hate to have to show your future supervisor these texts and say this is what I had to work with. And I had already apologized. Fake apologized, but still, that same fake demeanor. I don't know if she could see through it or not, but whatever. Like, she got what she wanted out of me. I don't understand, but I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean for it to come off like that. Feeding her own pumpkin ego because I knew that's all she wanted, and it didn't really matter anyway because I was quitting. Like, who cared, Like, bitch, the fuck you mean what you had to work with? A great employee who bent over backwards and had panic attacks but still didn't quit? Like, are you kidding me? Because you scheduled me incorrectly and I didn't get it covered, suddenly I'm in the wrong? Whatever. So again, I fake apologized and was like, yeah, no, I totally understand. Like, I totally didn't mean it to come off that way. Like, text is like so hard because you can't hear tones or anything, and I totally didn't mean it like that. I'm so sorry. Like, I see it now. Bullshit. Obviously bullshit, but she had that like shit-eating grin on her face. And then after that started being like, so how's Postmates? Like, how's the move going and everything? Like, that's so cool. I'm so excited for you. Like, wow, like, don't lose touch. Bullshit. I get my drink, I get my tips, I leave. I'm super uncomfortable because she just threatened to like sabotage my transfer, because that's the thing. Like, I was still basically at her mercy because, once again, just like the situation with Ashley, if she didn't want to release me from her store, there are ways to not do that. And she also can put in, and she literally made it clear at this time, like, she could put in a report and write me up for that, but she was being so nice for not writing me up because I didn't get my shifts covered and I made her do it. Literally, bitch, look at the mother bullshit handbook. And she even suggested to pull a page on the handbook. She's like, I can show you if you don't believe me. You first of all. And I was like, no, I'll take your word for it. I think we both knew I was bullshitting, but whatever. So what I did, I waited like a week because at that point I was like, wow, my supervisor just threatened me. I don't think I'm ever gonna work for Starbucks again. Like, that was so shitty. I don't feel comfortable ever going back to that store, ever talking to her ever again. Like, I don't know how to like portray it in the way that it made me feel, but I felt so bullshit. Slimy and small. I feel like every time I get too mad, I just stop and drink water. Eventually, I did wind up calling HR because I was like, this is fucked up and like, I'm not coming back to the store ever. I don't feel comfortable, but I know what a shit show that place is. I know how horribly she treats her employees, and I figure like everyone there is too scared to call because they're too scared they're gonna lose their job because retaliation is frowned upon at Starbucks, but also that's what she does best, and then she manipulates her bullshit way out of it. Because that's what it was with me. She was retaliating because I didn't work the shift she wrongfully scheduled me for or covered the shifts I shouldn't have ever been scheduled for in the bullshit first place, and it was her job, and I let her know well ahead of time that she had to cover the shifts anyway, and we talked about it, and she didn't ask me until the day of, and so she knew that I wouldn't have had a chance to be like, oh. So I call HR, and HR is actually like, you should just call the general manager. And that was weird because no, that's no. And I told her, I was like, well, I don't really feel comfortable calling him because like they seem like they're best friends. Apparently I was wrong and he actually doesn't kiss her ass like it looks like whenever he comes in, whatever. But that was the impression I was under. So I was very like discouraged by that. But I did actually write him like a whole ass mother bullshit novel in his email. He never responded, but apparently he did start coming into the store because again, I'm friends with a lot of people who worked there still, and some of them still do. Most of us have quit by this point, rightfully so. This video is just gonna be me getting angry the whole time. Getting angry while carving a pumpkin. Oh, it's so cute. The due date came and went for me to have submitted more paperwork for my leave, for it to be like officially approved or something. I don't know. But I had to like get her to sign something and turn it back in, but they didn't actually send me the paperwork until like well after all of this had happened.
She had called me a couple times over the whole period, but like I never texted me, never really left voicemails, and I just fully ignored her because I never thought that I was gonna come back to Starbucks at this point. However, Postmates was very just not working. I had like no money. I was making like no money, and I was having a really hard time finding another job, especially when I was moving, and didn't really have a concrete address yet because there was a whole lot of like, am I moving here? Am I not moving here at this place that I live in now? And one day she called me and actually did leave a voicemail saying that she wanted to talk about everything that happened and see how things were going and like how my transfer was and everything else. And because at that point I was like, okay, cool, I'm out of options. I sent her this text, which I'll put up on the screen now, basically just kind of accepting defeat, I guess, and like, okay, well, I guess this is my life now. I guess I'm gonna have to work at Starbucks again. I'm gonna transfer over and that's fine, but like whatever, you know, hopefully I won't have to work too much at the store. But I was figuring if I can work like a couple of shifts, like cover a couple of shifts only if you absolutely need me, so that I can make enough for like gas money or something like that while I'm like looking for a new job like closer to where I'm moving, if I can't transfer in time. And we all know she was never really gonna transfer me, but you know, I was like, just in case. And then after I sent that text, she did wind up calling me and we spoke on the phone, and I agreed to cover one shift on a Friday. And then next thing I know, I'm on the schedule all over again. Once again, I had told her I could cover a few shifts here and there, and then instead she put me on for another like 30 to 40 hours.
I was mostly professional about it. I would like to say I was fully professional, but I was not. Like, I did kind of throw a bit of a fit. I was like, yo, like, you never told me, like, this is ridiculous, like, whatever. But also that was bullshit. Shitty. Like, you don't just schedule someone full time after threatening them, make it whatever. And then after that, because of the bullshit due date that I missed, because I never thought I was coming back to that store because I didn't feel comfortable and HR hadn't helped at all, she wrote me up for missing the due date and claimed it was a super severe thing, and that if I basically put one toe out of line, they were allowed to fire me after that. Because Starbucks has a lot of policies in place so that you can't just be retaliated against and just like be fired. And she still bullshit found a way to do it and wrote me up for this, even though it wasn't even that severe of a thing. And the reason why was because of her. And I think if I had like officially contested it, it would have been waived. Where is it? Oh no, I kept it for this reason and now I don't know where it is, and I don't know if I have time or battery. I don't know where it is. I literally saw it the other day, but I'm not gonna like keep the camera recording and like go run around. I'm also not gonna stop recording and come back. There is a section on there if you believe that this is wrong, and you can like contest it. And I wrote my thing, she gave me a copy of it, and she even at that time was like, well yeah, like whenever we transfer you, like, you know, they'll see that this is on your record, so like make sure that you like maybe reach out to them or whatever. Like said that like she would give me their names and their numbers, but then that same day was suddenly like, okay, so which store is it that you want to transfer to, as if we hadn't already started the process like she had told me we had, because this was like a couple weeks into me working there. I was thinking I was gonna work a week or two after she put me on the schedule without asking me, like at the most, and then I was gonna not work and do stuff down here until the transfer went through. Apparently that wasn't her plan. She was gonna prolong it as long as possible, and she lied to me and kept saying like, oh yeah, I put the stuff through, but then suddenly that day was like, so which store is it that you want to go to? By the way, I submitted this transfer form like a couple days before I moved, so like before I even worked that Friday, like I happened to be down in the town and I was supposed to be doing that. Just bullshit. Anyway, yeah, the transfer never went through. She actually didn't just do do that to me. That was another of the things. Like, I want to be mailing the DM another novel another time. I think I said GM. Whatever. Nothing ever changed. She also didn't transfer multiple other people, like just claiming that there was like a whole queue of people, and like she never transferred anyone, just kept bullshitting. Wow. Yeah, there was no resolution with that ever either. The resolution was when I got a new job, it wound up being a scam job, and then I got a new job a couple days later. Everything's fine now. But when I got the scam job, didn't realize it was a scam job, I called her like that day, like an hour after I got home and found out I got the job. I was like so stoked, and I was like, hey, I just wanted to give you a heads up that I got a new job. I can work out the rest of my days, but I'm trying to get the rest of them covered as it is, just because I didn't want to have to go through the bullshit again. Like, I could have easily just been like, I'm never coming in again, bye, and I didn't. And I was like, yeah, so like I'm gonna have to like go ahead and put in my 2 weeks right now. Like, I'll send it in writing. I just want to know how to do that. And all she said was, that's fine. That was her version of giving me the middle finger on the way out. But you know what? It's fine, because I can do the same thing. Is this whole video just me being petty? No, I get the last word. Whatever. That place was a shit show. It was a hellhole. I would wager there was actual trauma that went on in my brain at that place, especially because I can't say that sentence. Thinking about being back in that place, I get anxious all over again. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, because essentially that's what it is. Story time and pumpkin. I feel like that's been my brand lately. I like do a thing, and while I do the thing, I tell a story. Thank you guys so much for watching this shit show. Also, I don't know why my nose got so stuffed up during this video. It was literally fine, and now all of a sudden I'm having to like sniffle. It just like really emotional. I don't know. Maybe that's fine. I'm just embracing the nerd character. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I'm in love with my glasses. I'm in love with my pumpkin. Happy Halloween coffee cat style, and thank you guys so much for watching. Like, I don't know what else to say. I'm really glad that everybody's here. I don't know if I've formally said it on my channel yet, but holy shit, you guys, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Like, have I said that yet? I don't know. I've been trying to make that video and procrastinating and shit, but just holy shit, thank you. I'm really happy that we finally reached that milestone, and now here's to 10,000. Let's grow the copycats.
Our army is unstoppable. Beware of the copycats.
It's the great coffee cat, Charlie Brown. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially to this week's Child of the Week across the screen right here. Thank you so much for being awesome and being active and being super lit. But holy shit, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to be Child of the Week, all you have to do is be active with me on my social media. Twitter and Instagram are your best bet, or you could do YouTube, because that'd also be cool, because then I could shout you out at the end of the video. This is not sticky literally at all anymore. I thought that was gonna be funny. I was like, what's funny about slapstick who? Three Stooges who? Copycat's coming for your brand. Okay, help me name this bad boy in the comment section down below. While you're down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Give me the thumbs and share this video if you like me. Please, my throat is very dry and I'm hungry. Just like subscribe, because I had trauma. Oh my god, I'm really gonna go this time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I was gonna say the whole spiel again that I already just said. I love you guys very much. Stay... It's a pumpkin pun. Pumpkin. I'm laughing way too hard at that. Stay pumpkins, my dudes, and I'll see you in the next one.
Why are you such a copycat?
Bye.